Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Greenfield Village and the Greenfield Village Railroad. And for your safety, we do ask that you please remain seated while the train is in motion, keeping your hands, legs, arms, head, and feet inside the train at all times. And please, no eating or drinking except for water. And if you do have little ones with you, we do ask that the adults please sit at the end of the row. If that's not practical, please make sure the kids are held or are easily within your reach. Thank you. And as we start to leave the Firestone Station, let's wave goodbye to Tom, our station master, and to Brad. He's our assistant manager here at Greenfield Village. Thank you, gentlemen. And we're now beginning a 30-minute trip around the inside perimeter of Greenfield Village. We will be making 2 stops along the way. One at our Susquehanna Station, which is where we're heading to right now, and then we'll be stopping at Smith Street.
We're not going to get a suit on this.
Here to Firestone Station. Now, Greenfield Village was dedicated on October 21st of 1929, and we cover about 80 acres of land in Dearborn, and we have about 100 buildings in the village, and many of them have presenters inside who will be happy to talk to you about the building and about the people who have either lived or worked in these buildings. Now, Greenfield Village is divided into 7 historic districts, and we're now in the Henry Ford Model T district, and this white farmhouse on the left is the birthplace of Henry Ford. He was born in one of the upstairs bedrooms on July 30th of 1863. Now, Henry was the oldest of 6 children belonging to the Ford family, and while he was born on a farm and raised on a farm, he did not like farm work at all. In fact, at the age of 16, he left the farm so he could work in the machine shops of Detroit. Now, as you pass the farmhouse, you can see our Main Street area. On Main Street, we have such buildings as the Wright Brothers Cycle Shop, the Wright Brothers Home, and across the street is a scaled-down version of the Mack Avenue Ford Motor Company building, and behind that is a loading dock where you can catch a ride on one of our Model Ts. And we're now coming into the Thomas Edison at Work District. And there's a statue of Thomas Edison to your left, and he's seated there, and he's probably thinking about his next invention. Now, many of his inventions were actually developed in this large gray building on our left. This is the Menlo Park Laboratory. In fact, he developed the incandescent light bulb in there, along with the phonograph and many, many other inventions. In fact, during his lifetime, he accumulated 1,093 U.S. patents for his inventions. Now, that large mustard-colored building on our left is the Sarah Jordan boarding house. That's where many of Edison's unmarried male employees would stay, and it's also one of the first residences in the world to be wired with electric lights. Now, next door to the boarding house is a small radio building, and this is the Fort Myers Laboratory. This is where Edison continued to do research and development while living in Florida. In fact, it was right next to his winter home in
One
Fort
thing I
Myers.
hate about the front seats is
And
this.
we're now coming into our Purchase and Farmers District. Here we have a number of homes that individuals have lived in over the years. Some of these people have been rather well known, such as Luther Burbank, Noah Webster, and William McDuffie. And all the buildings give you some ideas about the lifestyles and traditions of the people who lived in them. Now you might wonder, what is the oldest building in Greenfield Village? Well, that's that small
What happened
limestone
to that
cottage
stuff?
at the top of the hill on the left. It's the
The foot would go down. I mean, it's not solid. It's just a layer of that green stuff on top of the water.
Yeah,
built
probably.
in the early 1600s in England, and Henry Ford and his wife Clara were very fond of that type of building, so they were on the lookout for one to buy, and this is the one they found, and were purchased and brought over here to Greenfield Village. Okay, we're stopping here at our Susquehanna station. We'll be here for 4 minutes.
5 minutes later.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome aboard the Greenfield Village Railroad. And again, for your safety, we do ask that you please remain seated while the train's in motion. And please, no eating or drinking except for water. And if you do have little ones with you, we do ask that the adults please sit at the end of the row. Thank you.
I'm supposed to sit over there.
I think I'm big enough.
You're not going to try to jump out.
And we're now starting to leave the Susquehanna station. And let's wave goodbye to Josh. He's our station master here. Thank you, Josh. And we're now moving further into our Fortress and Parlors district. And the white building on our left is the Susquehanna Plantation House. This was built in 1835 and was located in the Tidewater region of Maryland. And it was part of a 700-acre plantation where they grew wheat and tobacco. And they also had 65 enslaved individuals who worked the plantation. Now the reddish-colored building on our left is the Plimpton family home. It's the oldest American home here in the village. That was built in 1640 in South Sudbury, Massachusetts. And 2 adults and 7 children lived in this one-room building. And here's the Ferris windmill. It's the oldest windmill in the U.S. It was built in the early 1600s or mid-1600s on the north shore of Cape Cod. And next door is the Daggett Farmhouse. This was built in 1754 in Coventry, Connecticut. It's an example of rural living in colonial America. And we do have presenters who work in the building and will be happy to talk to you about what life was like back in those early pre-revolutionary days. And here's our horse paddock area. This is where we bring our horses after they've been pulling wagons and carriages. Here they have a chance to rest up for a couple of days before they're asked to work again in the village. Now you see some of our horses over here. We do use Bergeron horses to do our wagon pulling. Now speaking of pulling, the locomotive pulling our train today is our 1942 General Electric diesel locomotive. It was used originally by the United States Navy at its facility in Charleston, South Carolina, and it was used to pull railroad cars that were loaded with munitions and then loaded onto the warships that were in the harbor. And of course, this was all taking place during World War II. Now, across the road from us on the right-hand side is the Ford Motor Company test track, and that large farm-like building on the right is the practice facility for the Detroit Lions. And to the left of that, you can see a couple of towers jutting above the tree line. And those towers are part of the Gordie Howe International Bridge that is scheduled to open in the fall of 2025. And now I'm going to stop talking for a few moments and let you sit back and enjoy the ride as we enter the nature preserve area here at the far end of Greenfield Village. fenced-in area right across the street from the laboratory, and that is the future site of the Jackson House from Selma, Alabama. Jackson's family home was a haven and strategic planning place for Dr. Martin Luther King during the civil rights protests of 1965 in Selma. These historic activities would lead directly to the signing of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And right now we're passing approaching, I should say, the Henry Academy. This is a public charter school. It's open to students who live in Wayne County, Michigan. We have about 500 students who attend the academy during the school year in grades 9 through 12. Ninth graders actually have their classes up at the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation, but the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders have their classes over in this area. Now we are approaching a rather unique set of classrooms up ahead. These are railroad Pullman cars, and they've been converted into classrooms, and they're used by our seniors. Here they take classes in math and English, among other subjects. Now on the other side of the classrooms is the Swanee Lagoon, catch basin for water overflow here in the village.
You know, a long time ago, before you used to come here, they used to have a boat that went around this thing. This part of here. It was what they call a paddle boat. You ever hear of that? Hear of that? Paddle boat?
And as you might have mentioned, we do have some turtles that we use on the lagoon. But there's one turtle in particular that I'd like to mention. And that turtle is a snapping turtle, and he's a big one. He's as large as a garbage can big, and we call him Dogzilla. Now as we pass the lagoon, you'll see the Martha Mary Chapel at the top of the hill on the left. Same denominational chapel that's often used for weddings in the village. And Henry Ford had it built in 1929, and he named it after his mother, Mary Ford, and his mother-in-law, Martha Connie. Right now we're passing the Taste of History. Cafeteria's got a restaurant, open from 9:30 until 5, serving snacks and drinks, and serves lunch between 11 and 3. Now the larger white building is the Eagle Tavern, also a restaurant serving lunch between 11 and 3, and that features a menu that dates back to the 1850s. Now originally the Eagle Tavern was home to Clinton Inn, as was located in Clinton, Michigan, about 50 miles west of us. And it was on the stagecoach route that ran between Detroit and Chicago. And right now we're coming into our Smith Street station. We're stopping there for 4 minutes. You'll be able to exit the left-hand side of the train. But please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop, and you can continue to closely listen.
Oh, yeah, he was too.
All right, let's move to the whistle, please.
They move very quickly.
Okay.
5 minutes later.
You're
Good
gonna see
morning,
the numbers.
everyone. Welcome to the Greenfield Village Railway. For the safety of our younger riders, we ask that the adults with them place themselves on the outside of the road. If it's not practical, just make sure that they're held or easily within your reach. We ask that you do not stand up and move around while the train is moving, keeping your head, hands, and feet inside the cars at all times. Eating, drinking, and smoking are not permitted, but water from an enclosed water bottle is encouraged. We are heading over up to the Firestone Station, and that's the entrance to the Greenfield Village. So sit back and enjoy your train ride. My name is Christine, and I'm your conductor. Thank you. As we pull
There,
over,
you
we'll
made it
take up
happen.
our station master
Tell 'em,
and
just tell 'em.
our conductor, and also our presenter, Bill. We are now in Railroad Junction District. The Smith Street Depot on your left was built in 1858 by the Grand Trunk Railway.
see it.
Smith Street is located about 10 miles west of Fort Huron, Michigan. Henry Ford had it brought here in 1928.
Look at the green.
There was a young citizen connection.
I still don't see it. Oh, there it is.
Our presenter, Bill, will tell you more about the duties of a station master and also about that connection with Thomas Edison. Across the street is our Edison illuminating power plant. Presenters there will tell you how Henry Ford had his first professional job as chief steam engineer. And across from there is our Detroit Central Marketplace, built in 1860. It was one of the sheds, a vegetable shed that was located in the Detroit Eastern Market area. Next to us is the Detroit Toledo Milwaukee Roundhouse that was built in the year 2000. of it sits our Pierre Marquette turntable, and that's how we get our locomotives in and out of the roundhouse. That is our number 7 locomotive built in 1897 by the Baldwin Locomotive Company. Roundhouses like this disappeared with the advent of the diesel electric. Slowly, steam locomotives were pulled out of service. When that happened, roundhouses began to close. Well, we have one because we have 3 steam locomotives which require regular maintenance and service. Liberty Craft Works is our next district where you can enjoy glass blowing, pottery making, weaving, and a printing shop by our artisans who are working just like they did back in the 1880s with similar tools and skills. Also, we have our Davidson Gerson Galloway glass. Enjoy seeing glass pieces from the 1700s all the way through modern day, beautifully displayed. We are now coming into our working farm.
We're gonna do an
Enjoy the
so
sights, sounds, and smells of a genuine woodworking farm. Our staff, dressed in period clothing, are carrying out the basic chores that they would have back on the farm in 1885. The home you see there is the birthplace of Harvey Firestone, who supplied Henry Ford with tires for Model T cars. It was built in 1828 from Columbiana, Ohio. The Firestone family would have had sheep, horses, chickens, and cattle on their farm and grew a variety of crops in their fields. And that's exactly what you'll see here, just like what the Firestone family had on the board. And look over to your left, you'll see that the corn is getting very high. When you do take a good close-up look of that, you'll see pumpkins that are around the stalks. And that's because it's keeping the weeds down. And the pumpkins look so wonderful. Some of the green have already left. You'll see orange pumpkins in the field. As you walk by, take a peek in the field. The corn will be used to feed the animals on the farm. As we come into the station, remain seated. The engineer will celebrate, giving us the sound of a single whistle, letting us know it's safe to come off the train. Should you be boarding here, you're going to exit to your right side. And we'll say hello to Tom, our station master, as we pull in. Once again, wait until you hear the whistle before you stand. It's